Hey guys, welcome to the Junks Playground YouTube channel. We're here with Paul. Paul reached top 16 of the European Championship. What did you play, Paul?
I played Malice. I was playing the deck all the time, and I think it's in theory the best deck because it runs the least number of bricks or like weird cards to draw. But obviously it has a landscape problem, so it's not like a crazy meta call or anything. But I think it was overall the most solid deck or the most consistent deck, and that's what we have. And I had the most confidence with it. Yeah, do you want me to start with the profile?
Yeah, let's start.
I was 2 Dormouse, 2 Wrap, 3 Chessie, 3 Marcher, then 4 additional engine pieces. I was on Allure, and I think honestly this is the best card of the deck, or at least one of the best. I think it's a little bit. It has become a little bit unconventional to play it. People run Bistros over it. I have no Bistros in my main. The thing is, Bistros are great as hand traps, but the deck actually lacks consistency a little bit. Like without Allure, you have like under 90% consistency to like draw a playable hand, maybe a little bit more, but it's not reliable. And this actually does so much for you. Like it adds consistency. Extensions into boards as well, because it kind of solves like the normal sum issue the deck might have sometimes, and lets you draw into more pushes than non-engine. And also people often wait with their Landseer after side just because they want to like take a trade if their hand is not that good, like they don't want to shotgun it. Very often they wait, so you at least can capitalize on that and activate that as the first action in the main phase to still get 2 draws. So this card did so much of what I wanted this deck to do in many directions. I would definitely recommend running it. Bishops are good, but I think the impact that they had wasn't big enough, and at the end I had to cut them because of space and priorities. I was on the field spells, and the Sarcophagus, and the Adagnister package. I am running not the super hand trap heavy list, which means I want to play all the extenders. I want to be able to play under Landseer as much as possible, so I want to max out on all of this. Also, it makes sense because of Allure. And then the 3 non-dispel traps. This is not needed for like the deck, getting the deck work, but over a long tournament there were so many games where you just like scratch wins because your engine does more. Like it makes your engine do more, especially game 1. After side, it's often a side out, not only going second but also going first sometimes. But game 1, when you can't get Landseer, this just makes your engine crazier, so it makes more sense. And sometimes like draw Charmy lines, it helps against that as well. So that's for the engine. I was playing 1 Talons. I wanted to have it somewhere, and I wanted more space on the side, so I took it in the main. And I think game 1 is also the game where, besides going first after side, it can shine the most because the games are fairer. So playing an unfair card, going second, like this, can do more because you can't get floodgated, right? Like it's not that easy to get floodgated game 1, so it's even stronger in the main. But you could technically decide it. And by the way, I'm on a 42 card deck. Seems odd because most Malice lists run 40 to 41, but I had to fit in enough hand traps and the allures and all the engine requirements. And at the end of the day, because of the allures and the same amount of Stardust, the deck is actually more consistent than most of the versions, even though it has a higher deck count. For non-engine 3 draw. The Charmies. I mean, I like the other hand trap approach, kind of, because it seems like you have more control. But like with Veilers and Visions and all that, like they kind of a gamble, they often get negated. But the thing is, when they like start with prayer, tribute something, and you chill there with like a Veiler and the Bishop, you know that you can never like stop them, right? So I think at the end of the day, you have to play the high impact cards, otherwise if they draw a good hand, it's looking pretty grim. So yeah, they want to play more than that because like this conflict makes your hands not that flexible, and they're not that great going first, but you want to have as many of them as possible. I think they cut it between like 4 to 5, and I think this was for me the most efficient solution. And then the lower impact ones, just because you have to play them, they're really solid. Like, this is crazy, and this is for Detonator, and this is for Charmies, and like they can all. Sometimes you can hit them in a way that they have to pass as well. So that's for me. For the extra Tooling Garibo, I think the value of just constantly threatening a trap negate is higher than like gimmicky combos with like the other options you might have. So I played 2 on Mirage for the Charmies and like to get more hands work. Link Spider, Wicked, Splash, Dark. Barely summoned it because I'm not on visuals, but yeah, I think I summoned it once and even gave me a good trade. I'm not entirely sure, but like it was just the most applicable next card. You could play something else instead of this, to be honest. SP to out certain cards, the Links, Firewall, which I think is also not the most necessary card, because when you get to the point where you can use it in your combo, you win anyways. Like most of the time it's like if you get to play, you're very, very fine. But sometimes like it helps with like some draw lines where you might end on this and like access to the ones in the the Malice Links in the graveyard, or this helps to like if you have to kill because you can't stop their follow-up and you can play freely, but they have like a wall of defense monsters with like Futsu and stuff. This also helps to like just break the board, like to bounce back to hand and then you can kill. Because it's actually not that easy to like break this with only Access Code and Cryptor if they summon everything in def and do it correctly. I like Code just to make you feel safer, I guess. This as an outfit like Chaos Hunter and stuff, or like if you half boards and Access Code. And for the side deck, Freelancia. Last Charmy. I don't have space for Meows, even though it's technically one of the best side deck cards going second into the mirror. But yeah, I didn't want to dedicate the spot to basically only check one matchup, even though it's one of the most important ones. Instead I played Nib, because I can also side this going first. And I think the mirror also very often works like a grind war. Like if no one opens crazy, or like if everyone has hand traps, it's more of resource-based value game, and this card shines there better. Like this card trades better than a Charmy. You can also side it against Mitsu Raise, especially in Europe. The Mitsu Heavy version is more popular than in the US. So you know against this like after side, you have to stop them because you get Lancet, you can get Feather Storm. You have to hand trap them to death, and this card helps doing that because they give you many angles. The version with Cross doesn't give you that many angles, but the European version I like to call it does. But it's mainly for the mirror or like other combo heavy matchups. And then a lot of side cards for going first because of the Lancia issue, and it just secures your matches if you manage to win game 1 especially. So 3 Mistaken Rest, 1 Called By, of course, 2 Thrust, and 3 targets for this. 1 Mischief, 1 Sanctum, and 1 Different Dimension Ground. I think the meta is still diverse enough to like dedicate the spot, and it's very, very convenient to have like 3 going first options against anything. Like whatever you want, like against Merman, Memento, all the combo matchups that are not tier 1, if you want to call it like that. This is just so handy, and this obviously for the 2 most played decks beside Vanquish Soul. Yeah, but it's very, very difficult to like Silver Bullet Vanquish Soul. I don't think realistic cards exist for that. So yeah, I was happy with the choice.
Any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to Junk's Playground, of course. Happy to be part of your team now. Shout outs to Philipp Weidinger, who I defeated in top 32. Hope you're not too disappointed about that. Shout out to Tom, who still has the chance to go to Worlds. He's playing for Worlds right now, which is crazy. And then shout outs to Ernst and Leonardo for testing and building the deck with me, and like they support me so much with like the theory part of the deck, and all the people from Dresden, because I borrow so many cards, I get so much support, and me playing the game has a big community-based aspect coming from the Dresden community, so I have to shout them out.
Alright, thanks for the deck, Brian. See you soon.